Okay, so I know that I've already done a story called Me and the Babysitter, and you guys absolutely crushed it. Like, you guys are loving that story like crazy. And knowing you guys do honestly love that story so much, I think it's time for me to tell you guys the other time when I had a babysitter. And I know you guys are probably gonna be like, oh, no way, is this gonna repeat what happened last time? Trust me, guys, this story does get intense and is insane. Like all the videos on my channel. But still, this story is gonna be insane. And like I always say before I tell the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously, this channel is full of amazing things. And also follow me on Instagram. If you guys don't, you guys are weird champ Andes. Literally. Anyways, like I always say, let's get straight into this crazy story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba, and welcome back to Me and My Babysitter, or Me and My Hot Babysitter. I never really described my last babysitter, and you guys still love that video for some reason. So here's me with an actual attractive babysitter. But the way this happened, knowing my last experience of Me and My Babysitter, it kind of changed things up, and I have to basically explain it. So I remember back when I was a kid, my parents had a babysitter before. You guys can watch the first part of Me and My Babysitter. That was that babysitter. This next babysitter was, I want to say, like 4 months later, and my parents were gonna go on a trip. And they needed someone that would come to the house regularly to basically check in on me. So I remember my parents would go and ask my neighbors to help out, but that didn't end up working out. So I remember my parents looked online for a babysitter, but they didn't want to find someone young and attractive because, well, we all know what happened last time. So my parents ended up finding this old lady that was like in her 30s that basically had children and was an old woman, basically come over and babysit me. Obviously at first I didn't really care because, well, as long as they weren't going to annoy me in my day-to-day life of me playing video games and beating my meat left and right, everything's okay. But then I remember the day when my parents were leaving and stuff, they all like kind of like got together and they started like talking and giving me the ground rules to make sure, you know, I take care of the house and everything, basically giving me the manly talk. I don't know, I felt like I was going to be like the kid from Home Alone. Anyways, I remember the babysitter ends up coming in and it was the old lady. It was just a simple old lady, not attractive, nothing. Like I wouldn't go 10 feet near her. And if she offered me a sandwich, I'd probably throw it out the window. But I remember basically she came in, she basically grabbed my cheeks and squeezed them as hard as she could. And she's like, we're gonna have so much fun. Great, is what I said. I don't know. I wasn't happy. And I remember my parents, they kissed me on the cheek. They said goodbye and they left for their cruise or whatever vacation they had. And well, me, I was just at home. I remember the babysitter would come, she would go. And this was like happening for like the first like 3 days of her coming over and just checking in on me, feeding me, doing all the babysitting stuff she should, and then leaving. But then I remember on the 4th day, it wasn't just the babysitter. The babysitter walks in, and then I realized that there was a really, really hot chick right behind her. And like, this wasn't a chick that like I didn't want to not be near. Like, she was hot as hell. So I remember I walked downstairs and I'm like, hey, like, what's going on? She looks at me, she's like, oh, like, you're out of your room. Welcome, come, let me feed you. And I remember her, like, I guess granddaughter, I'm not sure, I don't know if it was her daughter or granddaughter, basically looks at me and says, oh, like, hi, like, how are you? She like shakes my hand all nervous, but she was hot as hell. So I remember I was basically talking to her. I'm like, yeah, you know, I live here. I sleep on that bed. That's where we do our laundry. Yeah, you already know. I was basically giving her a house tour, and it was so funny because I remember my babysitter, like the actual babysitter, the old lady, was kind of like catching on that I liked this girl, and I was getting out of my room because of it. Because, you know, the only thing that could get me out of my room back in the day was food and, well, girls, I guess. So I remember she's all like happy and stuff, and she's like, oh, like, come sit down with us. I'll feed both of you. And basically, you know, we started just chilling and doing that. I started to get to know more about the girl. I started to talk to the girl. I ended up getting her Snapchat. And yeah, one thing led to another. I instantly just kind of, I don't know, I was happy. I was like, damn, like, this is a W babysitter. She's got a hot granddaughter. Anyways, they got up, they ended up leaving, and I was like, you know, basically snapping her left and right, saying like, hey, like, what's going on? How are you? What's up? You know, basically just hitting her up. And me knowing I was a kid, I probably hit her up in the most awkward way possible. Like, I think I probably sent her like 3 dinosaur pictures and a picture of my Turtle Beach headset. I don't know, I was super awkward. But going on with the story though, basically she like started talking to me and stuff and being nice to me. And I remember the next day when the babysitter came over again, she didn't bring her daughter. Her daughter wasn't there. Our granddaughter, I should say. Sorry, I keep saying daughter. I'm still not sure which one she was, but going on. She wasn't there. The hot girl that I liked wasn't there. And I was upset about it. I was like, what? Like, where is she? Where's your hot granddaughter? She looks at me and she's like, oh, like, she's coming later on today. She's very busy right now, but she's gonna come in later and I'm gonna go home early. Oh, okay, bet. That sounds good. Okay, yeah, you leave and she come here. W. Yes, I agree with this method, is what I told her. An hour goes by, she feeds me, she does all her babysitting duties and leaves, and then boom, the next person to come into the door was her granddaughter. And it was a W, because I remember she came inside. I basically walked her around the place, and you know, I sat with her on the couch and we started talking about school and stuff like that, because she wasn't that much older than me. I think she was like only like 3 years older than me. So like she was in high school and I was still like, I think middle schoolish. And basically she was flirting with me and stuff. I'm not gonna lie, she was. I know she was. She wanted me, and like basically I was flirting with her. I don't know, I was a kid. I think I was just kind of like mesmerized by how attractive she was, so I was kind of just playing that part of she wants me, and I guess she found it cute to the point where I remember it was the funniest thing where she was like, oh, like, do you want to like show me your amazing room? I told her, damn, hell yeah, I want to show you my bedroom. I take her upstairs to my bedroom, and when I did, I remember she saw my Xbox, she saw my gaming setup, which was just a monitor and an Xbox, but still, she saw my whole entire room. And then I showed her my bed. When I showed her my bed, I pointed at it. I'm like, oh, like, come sit down on my bed. She came, she sat down on my bed, and I remember me, I was super nervous because that was like one of the good times when I actually wanted a chick to come into my room. And I kind of like put my arm around her and I grabbed my Xbox controller. And I instantly started playing Xbox with her. Realized that she played video games and she actually enjoyed video games. So me and her were playing video games, and then I realized that midway through playing video games, she put her hand on my thigh. And when she put her hand on my thigh, she was getting closer and closer to me, and I was like, you don't want to play video games anymore? She looked at me, she's like, I mean, I don't see a point of playing video games when we could be doing, I don't know, something else. I started smiling and I instantly knew what she was talking about. I remember I saw this on the internet, well, on the Devil's Hub, but that's not the point. I was like, hell yeah, okay, I see you, girl. And the thing that ended up happening was, well, you guys will have to wait till the next video. I'm sorry to do this to you guys, but if you guys do want the next part, make sure you guys do leave a like, subscribe, and well, follow me on Instagram. Seriously, it means a lot when you guys do. And you know, it makes me realize that you guys do want more of these amazing stories. But trust me, this story does get really good and really hot, or sweaty, I should say. But yeah, like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. All right, peace out, guys.
My name is Baba. I'm still on top of the world. Devastating with your mother. Of course, let's go. Should I make it a story? Let's click record. Got that TikTok with 2 mil hit different with some more. She said she love me, she kept. Should I exit for sure? I got 100K for my life's work, so mama said bravo. All these people on my street, love y'all till the day I go. I got 100K in my plane. I got 100 buddies on my name. I'm making racks off this game.